All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Two Nates is on the air. You are now geeking out with Two Nates. We are going to discuss, discover, and debate all things pop culture, from movies and music to TV and toys and more. Nothing is off limits, right?
Right.
Well, almost nothing.
Almost nothing.
We want to keep this thing fun and entertaining, so you guys keep listening. Because what are we going to do if nobody's listening to us, right? Just bitch at each other?
Well, we've been doing that for about 10 years now.
So, we just want to invite you guys in here to do it with us. This podcast is being presented as entertainment, like I just said. We're just going to take a fun look back at everything that we've been involved with in our lives that has made us, us. Get ready, buckle in, grab a beer, because we're going to grab a couple. We're going to start this whole thing. We're going to tackle the 1980s, which is our favorite decade, because there were so many events in the decade that shaped our cultural landscape and events that not only captured our imaginations but challenged our senses. We can look back at the 80s not only with a smile but also with a tongue-in-cheek, a little poking a little fun at ourselves, and the wonderment of just how the 80s are, at least in our hearts, the home of some of our fondest memories. Would you agree?
I would agree. Wholeheartedly agree.
All right, well, why don't you talk a little bit.
So today's broadcast is being brought to you by none other than El Capitan's Brewery and Bar, boldly brewing here in Iowa since 2014, located in the heart of the heartland, Story City, Iowa. Before we slice into the meat of our little show, let's tell you a little bit about ourselves. But first, I'm going to hand the mic back over to my partner in crime, Nate. Take it away, buddy.
Thanks, Nate. So I grew up here in Story City. I didn't get too far away from home until I was in the service. I got 3 kids. A boy and 2 girls. Each of them take after me in some way or another. My daughter's a little bit more than my son, but I'm all good with that. I just love it when they take an interest in something that I have an interest in already. It just kind of...
Being a nerd?
Absolutely. Whenever they ask me to watch a specific type of movie, or just a movie in general that I know is kind of near and dear to me, or even a TV show that they actually take an interest in, or anything outside of that too, you know, whether it be... I also like to play golf.
I thought you were going to say play with yourself. No. You said play.
This show is PG-13, so...
you can't say play with yourself?
Well, you can, but... Put that thing away. What are you doing? So we are going to talk about a lot of things that we grew up with and things that changed the way we probably behave in some way or another. I don't know. Movies, music... TV, video games. We're also going to probably have 1 or 2 shows dedicated solely to professional wrestling. I'm a huge WCW fan, which sadly
Survey time. Are you here for WCW?
Or the NWO. But yes, clearly I was When I last watched wrestling on a regular basis, that was my friends. That was my water cooler discussion TV, Monday Nitro. That was the show that I had to make sure got recorded or that I made sure I sat down and watched every night. That's going to be coming up. We actually have a couple of friends who are professional wrestlers. Maybe not on the mainstream, but... They do some independent shows around here, and on an upcoming broadcast, they will be here in our...
Hey, Windbag, do you want me to tell about myself before you start talking about how many things we're doing for the show?
What?
There's 2 guys. It's 2 Nates, not just one Nate.
I'll just...
It's 8 in the morning. Was that a beer already, dude?
It's also Sunday, so...
Oh, jeez. So let me tell you guys a little bit about myself. My name is Nate also.
Your last name is also?
Yes. I know. It's kind of weird, but, you know.
Yeah.
I'm the younger of the 2 Nates. I was not born here in Story City, Iowa. I reside here. I've been here for about 10 years. Planted my family here. I was born in one of the most wonderful cities, the city of Fountains, Kansas City, Kansas. Huge Kansas City Royals fan. Still have family there. Raised Royal. I grew up in north central Iowa in a small town of 250 people. The town's called Coulter, Iowa. I have family ties there. My father was the mayor until just a few years ago.
It was not good.
Not good. Well, his political run was good, but when we
hired or
celebrate
elected?
during election, or what would you call that, inauguration parties, they were not good.
Was he hired or elected?
Elected.
Okay.
It wasn't like here.
Yeah. We hire our mayors here. That's where they keep them legit.
So, I grew up in north central Iowa, small rural community. My video store was a library. Watched a lot of the same movies over and over, which led to me only liking certain kinds of films because my exposure was limited except for when I would visit Kansas City to see cable. I'm also a dad, and I am a father of 5 children, all of whom are nerdy in one aspect or another. They all share a likeness of Star Trek. They all like Star Wars. Some like Harry Potter, some don't. Some like Lord of the Rings, some don't. They all love their dad, and they love parts of their dad. Some sort of superhero or some sort of part of them is me, and that's what I love about them the most. Like Nate said, I am also, Nate also, huge...
What part of the world is that name from?
Yeah.
Also.
Swahili.
Oh.
So,
You don't look... Never mind.
yeah, don't go. I also am a huge wrestling fan. I am a huge self-proclaimed nerd. I fully tatted up. Most of them are nerd related. A lot of my discussions will be nerd based, but you're going to hear me talk about wrestling and fighting of any type. I love that stuff. You know, we're just starting up here, so maybe someday we'll tell you we got somebody famous coming on here. You know, we've reached out to some, bands that we've reached out to, independent films coming out that we're looking into having as guests. So we're really looking forward to just reaching out to you guys and just letting you guys know stuff. If you have any ideas that you want us to talk about or people that you think would be interested in being on a couple of shows where we just want to talk about nerd stuff or geek out on something, you can get a hold of us at 2natesnow@gmail.com, and that's the number 2, so 2 natesnow@gmail.com. We'd be happy to answer you. Unfortunately, this isn't a full-time job for us yet, so
Working on it.
maybe give us a day or two when you reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you and ideas, so hit us up sometime. What else you got for us for tonight?
Well, my goal for this podcast is to entertain people. And I know this episode may sound or come off a little bit rough just because we're only getting started. We're just getting our feet wet, as they like to say. But I believe that once we kind of nail down our format and get things flowing, we're going to make you guys laugh a little bit, think about the things that we like to talk about, and maybe bring up some memories that may have gone by the wayside for you, or for ourselves even, for that matter. I know that there's a lot of things that happened in the past, and within our lifetimes anyway, that we're probably going to uncover that as soon as we're going to have those aha moments.
That was a good band.
That was a good band. Take On Me.
For
at least one song. So we really hope you guys dig what we're doing, and let us know what you think. Again, the email is number 2 Nates NOW@gmail.com. Hit us up, and eventually too, we're also going to be getting some other social media.
We're going to work on a Twitter,
Facebook page. Instagram.
You can find Nate on Tinder. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Grindr.
Oh, Grindr.
Dick.
You'll find. I thought you said this was PG.
13.
Yeah.
You can say dick in PG-13. You can't say fuck more than once. That's the problem.
Oh. Hey, speaking of that, so I will tell you, we'll close with this. So this is not our generation related, but movie ratings will be a good debate sometime on here.
That will be an impressive one.
The other night on channel 13.4 here in Iowa, I think that was
This
network. It's a mad world was on.
Yeah.
There was a woman very scantily clad walking around in a bra and panties. That I was quite surprised that was a G-rated movie.
She wasn't naked?
She wasn't naked.
Really?
But it was G-rated.
Well, I told
I
you
was
about
quite surprised.
Can't Stop the Music, didn't I?
Which that is going to be another subject of movie that I've introduced him to of Gary Mahoney roller skating down Times Square.
Yeah. Too much TMI right now.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that one on an upcoming episode, but stay tuned.
Yes. So hit us up. Watch for the social media. We're going to just do this short introduction episode for you guys. We'll be following up here real soon with our next episode. We'll surprise you with what our next subject's going to be, and look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there. Hopefully you guys will be too. Until then, this is Nate.
And this is Nate.
See ya.
See ya. There can be only two
Nates.
Nates.